Hello everyone and welcome to the Promising Student Startup U300 online information session. This competition is hosted by the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of SMEs and Startups, organized by the National Research Foundation of Korea and the Korea Institute of Startup and Entrepreneurship Development, and operated by the Korea Entrepreneurship Foundation. Before we officially begin explaining the program, I'd like to briefly clarify the names we will be using today. When I mention Promising Student Startup U300, I will refer to it as U300. And when I talk about Challenge K Startup 2025, I will call it Dojeon K. In Korea, each government ministry supports startups in its own specialized way. Some of the startups that grow through this support are later selected to represent their ministries in a national competition. The Ministry of Education supports student startup through U300, and the competition where selected startup represent the ministry is called Dojeon K. U300 is a program where student startup teams are selected, trained, connected, and given the chance to compete. Dojeon K, on the other hand, brings together teams from different leagues, each with a special focus based on the ministry's area. For example, there are leagues for soldiers, women, scientists, and so on. You are part of International Student League. If you perform well in U300, you will automatically advance to Dojeon K. You can check the overall timeline including dates on the official website. But for now, please just remember the most important one. The application deadline is April 30 at 5 p.m. The main reason I'm showing you this schedule is to explain how many teams will be selected. First, 20 teams will be chosen through the document screening stage. Then, from those, 10 final teams will be selected through the presentation evaluation. These 10 teams will officially join U300. After the training program, the top 5 teams will be selected to advance to the U300 demo day and also move forward to Dojeon K. U300 is a program designed to understand what student startup teams really need and to support them accordingly. The photos you see here are from last year's events and training sessions. They include examples of demo day, exhibitions, and both online and offline education. In 2025, the program is structured into 2 tracks and 4 target groups. Each team is placed into a track based on how prepared they are for starting a business or whether they have a specific characteristic or background. Then, the education and competition methods are customized based on the track. The session you are watching now is for the international student track. In this track, the final round will be held in a demo day format, not an exhibition. All teams will receive both lectures and team-based mentoring, and on top of them, 2 additional training programs will be offering exclusively for international students. Throughout the program, including application, evaluation, education, and competition, you can choose to use either Korean or English. If you're interested in learning about the other tracks, you can find the Korean language online info session on the YouTube channel. Same YouTube channel. Now, let me tell you a bit more about Dojeon K. There's no better word to describe this program than integrated competition. If your team is selected as one of the top teams in the international student track, you will represent your league and compete against teams from other leagues. Dojeon is the largest startup competition in Korea. Among the 10 teams selected in Yusanbae, the top 5 teams will pass the Dojeon K preliminary round. This team will then advance to the integrated competition and eventually to the final stage, which is called the King of King round. Also, Dojeon K is not only for students. Teams are divided into 2 groups, early and pre, based on whether they have officially started their business before or after February 4, 2025. At this point, I'd like to remind you that the core program is 유산백. While winning the prize is great, the real goal is building a successful startup. That's why the most essential education and customized competition format are take place within 유산백. This is where you receive the tools, guidance, and support to grow your ideas into something real. Now, let me share 3 reasons why this program is a great opportunity for international students who are preparing to start a business. The first reason is networking. 유산백 has been running nationwide for a decade. In 2025 alone, 410 teams will be selected and connected through this program. You will not only network with the 10 international student teams, you will also meet and connect with Korean student startup teams. There will be large events where all teams gather, and if you are interested, you can also join the regional networking events freely. This is community that even bigger than your university or your city. And since everyone here was selected through the competitive process, you will find it easier to have meaningful and inspiring conversations. In fact, many teams form new partnerships through this program every year and fly again together. Before you graduate and dive into the real startup world, this is a chance to meet people just like you, people who are in the same situation. And through those conversations, you will be able to reflect on your own team and where you stand right now. Now, let me introduce the startup training curriculum we will prepare for international students. Our startup teams in Yusanbae will receive 3 main types of support: online lectures, competency assessment, and team-based mentoring. For team mentoring, you have 2 options. You can receive mentoring based on your assessment results, or you can choose your own topic, whatever your team needs the most right now. And of course, you can choose to receive our education in either Korean or English. In addition to that, the International Student Track offers 2 special training programs designed specially for the needs of international student founders. The first special training is International Student Track is called Market Translation. This session helps you refine the language used in your business plan to make your key terms more accurate and professional. Sometimes, the words we use in our business plan in English or Korean tend to be unclear or not standard. For example, if there's already a well-known business model, but you describe it in your own way, judges may see it as a sign that you are not familiar with the startup field. Also, if you are planning to start a business in Korea, you need to know the official Korean terms related to your idea, because these terms are often connected to government regulation or funding programs. Let's say your business idea is about travel using local crops in rural areas. If you just write rural travel or 시골 여행, you may not find enough useful information. But if you search using the official term like landscape agriculture or 경관농업, you will get more accurate research, including possible subsides and related policies. This is something that many startup teams struggle with, but for international students, it can be even more challenging. That's why we've created this training just for you. The second special training is IR simulation. If you've been ever prepared a startup, you probably know there are so many moments where you need to pitch. Whether it's for competition, program application, or attracting investors, public speaking becomes a big part of your journey. But many teams struggle to remember what questions were asked or how they answered them. And sometimes, even after preparing whole, they can't fully communicate their ideas. For international students, this opportunity to pitch and get feedback can be even more rare. That's why we offer this simulation program, a chance to actually practice your pitch in a real evaluation. But it's not just about giving your pitch and walking away. After the pitch, you will discuss the questions you received from the judges. What did they really want to know? Was your answer clear enough? If the question was difficult, what could have been a better response? Together with the judges and mentors, you will analyze your answers and improve. This process will also help you perform better at the final stage of demo day. Earlier, I briefly showed you a schedule again, and that was to explain the prize structure more clear. First, the 10 teams selected for Dusanbe will receive startup education and networking opportunities. Among those, the top 5 teams will advance to the demo day, and each of them will receive 1 million Korean won in prize money. These 5 teams will also automatically move forward to the Dojeon K integrated final. Out of 225 teams selected for the integrated final, only 5 teams are from the international student track. This stage is a closed-door presentation. And you can choose to present in either Korean or English among the 225 teams. And because this prize money is provided directly by the Korean government, you can receive it regardless of your visa type and use it freely. We've now covered the background of the program and why it's such a valuable opportunity. So let's move on to how to apply. The process is simple. First, check if you meet the eligibility requirement, then submit the requirement documents aligned to prove your eligibility, and that is it. The most important condition is that you must currently be a student. It doesn't matter what school you go to or what degree or program you're in. You can be currently enrolled on a leave of absence or even have completed your coursework, as long as you can get valid certificates from your school. These certificates must be submitted by both the team leaders and team members. Since your team must have at least 3 and up to 5 members, you will need to submit 3 to 5 certificates. One for each team member. Please remember, every team member must be a student. One common question we get is, does a language institute count as a school? The answer is yes. Students at language institutes are also eligible. At the end of this online session, we will share a KakaoTalk QR code. You can scan it anytime and send your certificates for a quick pre-check to see if you are eligible before submitting your applications. In addition to the certificate proving your student status, you will also need to prepare a copy of your residence card and a few additional documents. These extra documents are required to officially join the competition. You can download them from the notice section on the website. Just look for Form 2. Now you might be wondering, is that Form 2? Then what is Form 1? Form 1 is your business plan. We use the PSST format, which stands for Problem, Solution, Scale Up, and Team. This structure is commonly used in startup programs and pitch presentations. So if you've already created a business plan before, it should feel very familiar. You're welcome to include charts, graphs, or images to explain your idea more clearly. If you already have a pitch deck prepared for presentation, you can also use parts of that in your business plan. Form 1. Once you've confirmed your eligibilities and prepared the required documents, you are ready to go. Visit the official website, create an account, and complete the online application. This step is basically a summary of what you've already written in Form 1 and Form 2, or parts related to the international student track are provided in both Korean and English. This is one important thing to know. Note, the person who fills out the online application will be considered the official team representative. And for the international student track, the team leader must be an international student. When you click the 신청 button, which means apply, you will see two options, notice and apply. Under notice, you can download everything you need. The application manual, official announcement, Form 1 and Form 2. When you go to apply, you will find the application form which has 3 sections. Team information, idea overview, and others. You just need to summarize what you've already prepared in your documents. There are also 2 cases where you may receive extra points during the document screening stage. If your team has completed the OASIS program, or if more than 50% of your team members are international students. The second case, the team composition will be automatically applied. If you completed OASIS, just check the box in the application form and upload the required proof document. Once you finish filling out the sections and submit your application, the apply button on the website will change it to check and edit. This means you can go back and make changes anytime before the deadline, April 30. Also, not just the application period, but the entire schedule for evaluation, training, and the final competition is available on the website as well. So if you ever forget the dates, you can always go back and check them there. That brings us to the end of today's online information session. We will now share 2 QR codes, one for our KakaoTalk where you can ask questions anytime, and one for the official website. You can also find clickable links in the description of this video. If you have any question during the application process, or if you need help with anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. We are doing our best to support international students, founders like you, and we are excited to see what you will bring to the programs. Thank you so much for your interest, and we look forward to reaching your applications.